everybody, welcome back. It is February 25th, 2018, 3:23 p.m. Alright, this is actually a video I wanted to upload yesterday afternoon, but I got a bit tied up. But it's a good thing I didn't, because a lot has changed. And just when you think we are getting a break from this massive amount of rain that has just been drenching the eastern part of the United States all the way up to the northeast, we have yet another, even possibly more significant system that is forming. Now I have a set here for the 28th. The big issue with this system, I believe, is going to be around March 1st to the 3rd. That may vary 10 to 12 hours in either direction, because we are about 5 days out from that period. February has 28 days, I believe. We're not in a leap year, so I believe it's 28. Regardless, though, guys, we are dealing with some major weather going on. The ground is shaking all over the world. I just posted a video on the 7.5 to 7.8 earthquake in Papua New Guinea that caused a tsunami warning, has the data buoys going nuts, and there's just been a lot of movement going on, as well as aftershocks of well over 5.0 in Papua New Guinea currently still going on. But at the same time, we do live in the U.S. for the most part of my subs, so we need to take a look at this. Now, North Mississippi and North Alabama, you could be getting anywhere between 4 to 6 inches of rain. You can see this starting to pop up right here as we move into the day on February 28th, right over the north part of Mississippi. It looks to hook out of the area of Texas, up and through Louisiana, and a little bit to the south of Arkansas, but then it really starts to take form as it passes through northern Mississippi and Alabama. 4 to 6 inches in this portion right here, just within a couple-hour period. But what happens after this is very significant here. Now, this is another round of rain that is coming up from the Gulf, being pulled up by that big swoop we've been talking about. That's pulling all this moisture up from the Gulf and also from the Pacific across the Baja region of Mexico through Texas, and then up straight into the northeast with that high pressure going on in the Atlantic Ocean, keeping that pressed against the northeast. We could be dealing with yet another week of this crazy flooding that we just got over. And it looks pretty solid to me, because we're talking this is all within the next 5 days on multiple charts, all agreeing on this. We're talking anywhere from 6 to 10 inches excuse me, of rain in portions of the coastline of the Northeast. And that is very significant, especially in areas like Long Island and Rhode Island especially, that have these coasts that are right there on the edge. So let's take a look at this as it forms. You can see once again after the 28th, this is after that 4 to 6 inches we're expecting over the North Mississippi and Alabama areas. Even after that, going into the March 1st time, we have another strip that goes right into Arkansas from Texas. Look at these red colors, guys. You go up to this chart here, that is anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of rain in a couple hours. That is just unbelievable, and all it does is begin to stretch out, and it goes up through the top of Louisiana, through Mississippi, the top of Alabama, and then into Tennessee. This will, in my opinion, be yet another tornado situation that we just got over with last night. Also look up to the area of the head of the elf. I call this a Mimo the elf. I was taught that in school. You got Minnesota, you got Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana. So they call that Mimo the elf, because it looks like it's got a nose here and a big old pot belly, and then Louisiana is the boot. So those of you that try to remember state names, that's Mimo the elf right here. So right in the border between Missouri and Iowa, look at this rain rate as well. We're talking anywhere from 4 to 6 inches of rain again in a small period of time too. These are moving quickly, but then as it gets to the northeast, check this out. This thing begins to whip in a counterclockwise motion, low pressure system, a little bit north towards the Great Lakes, could be an ice and snow situation. But look at these colors here again, guys. We're talking central Pennsylvania, all the way possibly up to northeast Pennsylvania where I am. 4 to 6 inches of rain in a couple hours. Out here in the Atlantic, that is a clear red color. That is anywhere from 10 inches and above in a couple hours, which is just unbelievable. And then you can see in this area we have Long Island, we have that exposed part of Connecticut, Rhode Island, and then even south of that we have New Jersey and parts of Delaware that could be at major risk for this rain. Now, because this is a low pressure system and it's spinning, that also brings a lot of rain. These could be some major storms depending temperature. Again, a lot of this is all temperature based. The warmer it is, the higher rate you have for those atmospheric conditions to cause major storms. And we just dealt with, I believe it was at least 4 deaths overnight last night with that set of storms we were talking about, those tornado warnings going on all the way through Kentucky, Tennessee, then Kentucky rather. Arkansas was involved in that, most of Arkansas, parts of Louisiana and Texas. So again, we have yet another system that is going to come and go very quickly, which usually means high wind rates, very torrential downpours, and very significant storms. And that is backed up by a lot of things here. I have you on a pulled out view here. This is a little bit higher up in the atmosphere, but just take a look about how this thing forms and how quickly we get these deep purple colors. That's what you want to look out for. That is a lot of moisture. That is a lot of power. There's a lot of difficult stuff to deal with as far as traveling and your day-to-day lives when it comes to stuff like this. And then boom, this thing just wraps up. We have a low pressure of 969, and it seems that it's going to want to rip right into the coastline of the Northeast. And this is where that rain comes in. This is why when you're dealing with systems that move in a counterclockwise formation, it's picking up moisture from the ocean as it's spinning, and it's dumping it all over the coast here. So this could be a more significant system, guys, than we just dealt with for the last week and a half with all the flooding going up the Ohio River Valley. This system alone, this is one of the bigger ones I've seen in a long time. Just look at how this thing expands into the Atlantic Ocean, and just the amount of moisture is just unbelievable to see. I haven't seen weather like this in a long time, and then you add the earthquakes on top of that. It's just, we have a lot going on this year, guys, and especially in the month of February. This is going to be one of the busier Februaries as far as weather that we have ever seen. And that is not just me, in my opinion. That is meteorologists on TV saying that all over the place. So you could just see this with your own eyes, guys. This thing is a major system. It looks to be forming the beginning. Well, after that first part of the 6 to 4 inches or 4 to 6 inches of rain in Mississippi, Alabama, yet that other system begins, it looks like inside of Texas. So some of this could be being pulled over Mexico from the Pacific, and then that upwind from the Gulf of Mexico is also clearly adding to this. And then we're talking between the first and the third, this thing just tears right up the East Coast and just begins to spin in the Atlantic Ocean. And luckily, the only thing we have going for us at this point in time is that you can see this high pressure symbol here in the Atlantic Ocean that usually pins everything against the Northeast. That begins to let up a little bit, and that's what's allowing this system to a little bit move out into the Atlantic Ocean. So as long as that high pressure continues to move, this may stick to just a coastal area. If that high pressure decides to stay, we could be dealing with the entire Northeast just being completely saturated once again. A very quick system, 1 to 3 days once it gets to the Northeast, but the amount of rain this thing wants to dump is just totally incredible. I haven't seen stuff like this in a long, long time. You see this in other areas of the world that are known for severe weather, but the Northeast has just been getting hammered, and then the Ohio River Valley is still dealing with those high rain rates we just dealt with, and then yet another one is about to make its way across. So this month of February has just been devastating for the East, at least in the last couple weeks. And let me move forward here a little bit and just see. Look at those deep purple colors, guys. If this thing were over the east coast of the U.S., we're talking more record-breaking flooding going on. And I am very convinced that this is going to add just to those water levels. Just as we're expecting them to begin to lower down, they're just going to get dumped on once again. So take a look at this one more time. You got that thing whipping along, and again, it's areas, as of right now, the exposed areas of New Jersey, even Delaware, Maryland could be involved in this, and then as we move up to the states, we got eastern New York. We have all of Long Island, which is very exposed. Lots of areas in Long Island that are below sea level, which could be dealing with major flooding. Long Island is basically an island beach, if you want to look at it that way, and then you have that exposed area of Connecticut, and then we move into Rhode Island, which had those record-breaking wind gusts of up to 90 miles an hour during Winter Storm Grayson. So you know these areas are exposed to this type of wind. So we just need to keep a close eye on this, guys, and be prepared for it. That's why I've been putting those hashtags. Stay safe, be prepared, and have a plan. I will never tell you to go out and buy supplies and spend your money, but to be prepared is an understatement. You just need to understand that weather has a mind of its own. There are steering features that go on with this. There are reasons why this is happening. It's just the atmospheric conditions. We're changing seasons right now as well, so there's a lot of changing going on. We can move into Ventus Sky here, and you can see the rain rates that are going to be accumulating over the next couple days. I have this set at the 1st. You can clearly see between now and the 1st, we are going to have another 5 to 6 inches of rain covering the states of Oklahoma, Arkansas. That includes, like I said, the north areas of Mississippi and Alabama. And then as we move forward, look at how this just expands. The amount of rain that is about to fall on the east of the U.S., like I said, could be more than we just dealt with in the last 2 weeks, which is just, I keep repeating myself, but it's just unbelievable to see these types of rainfalls going on right now. So we're talking anywhere from 6 to 8 inches of rain accumulating between now and the 5th, and then up in the New York areas, there's a lot of 4 to 6 going on. Long Island, there's 4 inches within a 3-day period. And we just got to keep an eye on this. Now, once again, to touch base on this earthquake that just happened in Papua New Guinea, these buoys are going off. I'm not totally up to date on the tsunami situation. I believe it has been canceled, which is a good thing. Now, to make a point here, this earthquake is being registered as 35 kilometers deep as far as this page goes. And then when you go to the tsunami page, it says a depth of 6 miles, so there is some controversy going on with the depth of this thing. I believe it is closer to the 20 to 30 kilometers deep, only because if it was 6 miles deep, this would be a much bigger situation than I think we're dealing with right now. But nonetheless, guys, a 7.5 to a 7.8 earthquake is no small feat. That is a big deal, especially after what just went on in Mexico on the other side of the Pacific Ocean. We've just been being rocked lately, and there's a lot of action going on weather-wise in the U.S., and not just the U.S. We had a very active cyclone season that just is coming to an end now. There may be some other activity going on here, and now we are moving right into the months of March, April, and May, and that is the beginning of the Atlantic hurricane season. At least last year it was. April was our first tropical storm. So that's where we're at right now, guys. We have some significant weather coming. Anyone that lives in the east, all the way from Texas through the Ohio River Valley, that includes, southeast Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and then you move a little bit south, and then to the left we have Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, and then Pennsylvania. And then who knows what's going to happen when this thing gets up to these areas and it meets a little bit of cold air. So there you have it. Once again, we have another major moisture system making its way from Texas all the way up to the northeast, doing most of its damage, I believe, will be in the northeast as far as rain rates. But because it's moving so quickly, we're going to be dealing with another set of tornado warnings, basically in the same area that we just had them overnight last night that took the lives of 4 people, unfortunately. That number I have not updated yet. That could be higher, but I saw some damage pictures, and some of these areas were ripped apart from not even having tornadoes, just the severe storms themselves. So very significant weather going on, guys. Everyone, please be safe. Keep these charts. You know, check them on a daily basis. It's very important. I will be updating daily, but you can do this on your own as well, and just keep an eye on your area, because this is significant stuff going on. All right, guys, I don't want to keep you here too long. Stay safe. I hope everyone has a great rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you later on. Thank you.